Hello, Cousin Johnny here. We'd like to thank our sponsors for the Buzzin' with Cousins show. We thank you. Thank you, that garlic stuff. If you like garlic, you're going to love it. Put it on just about anything. That garlic stuff. Tuesday, Alvarado Farmers Market, or go to thatgarlicstuff.com. Thank you. Thank you, I Heart You Candles and Gifts. 222 17th Street, Pacific Grove. Beautiful hand poured candles made with love. Go see Sherry at 222 17th Street in Pacific Grove. I Heart You Candles and Gifts. Thank you. Thank you, Max Fit Meals, 520 Fremont Street. Grab and go healthy meals. They're delish. On your way from home from work, go grab some, heat them up, and fantastic. Thank you, Suds Cyber Laundry, 709 Lighthouse, Pacific Grove. Great modern machines, big screen TV, coffee, and a great friendly staff. Thank you, Suds. Thank you, the Whiskey Club, 425 Alvarado Street. Over 600 whiskeys to choose from. Go on in, relax, enjoy a nice whiskey. They also have a bottle shop. It's great. Great place to relax and enjoy. Tell them a cousin sent you. Thank you. Bye. Thank you, storyteller, author, and all-around good guy, Tony Albano. Tony has written 3 books, the latest being Cherish, about a New York teenager and a nun find love. Thank you, Tony. And if you want to order the book or find out more about Tony, go to Tony, Tony, Albano, Albano, storyteller.com. Check it out. Thank you. Thank you, sponsors, for the Buzzin' with Cousins show. We thank you. Hello, how's everybody doing out there? Cousin Johnny here, bringing you another show. I really got a great guest. I couldn't wait to get him on. So before further ado, let's get him on right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome marathon runner Ben Balester. Ben.
Hey, hi. Johnny. How's it going?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
From between November 15th, you just accomplished between November 15th and November 21st, you ran for 7 days, 7 marathons consecutive on 7 different continents. Congratulations for what you did. And you did it for a great cause, Al and friends. And congratulations for all that and what you do for the community. That was something else.
Thank you so much. Was that what I did? It was such a whirlwind world trip. I don't even know. Did I do that all?
it
Gotta
was
stop the.
Whenever I mention it to somebody, they go, "Yeah, well, it was probably half marathons and it took long." I go, "No, these are full blown 7 days."
Yeah.
7 continents. So anyway, so it's called the Great Race. Tell me about it. What is the Great Race?
Yeah, it's called the Great World Race. It's an organization that, to be honest, I don't know when its inception was or when this was first created. I know I heard about this or something similar to this around about 10 years ago, and someone who actually still holds the record. And he's an acquaintance of mine. He's won our local marathon. His name is Michael Wardian. I remember he did it the same year that Ryan Hall did it. Ryan Hall is our American marathon record holder. He has the fastest marathon in America to date. And at the time, he had gotten out of marathons and started lifting a lot of weights. So Michael Wardian was this tall, lean guy from vegan athlete, lives in Virginia. He had the record, and he had run it that year at a 2:45 average. which is just phenomenal. Maybe 246, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first. And then I think the doctor from that organization ended up taking over the race, called it the Great World Race. It's just gotten better and better over time. Logistically, it's probably a logistical nightmare. It worked out. We were able to thankfully get it all done within a week. So pretty, yeah, pretty. Just from that perspective alone, pretty amazing that it can actually
Yeah. Now
these
you're
things can go.
an avid runner, right? You do marathons.
I am, yes. Yeah, I did actually prior to this race, I did 100K 3 weeks before. It was like a good build up for me because it gave me time to recover. And I've done 100-mile races before. So I was used to being on my feet for a long period of time. Now, I wasn't used to that amount of weekly miles. It was a lot more than that. It ended up being 183 miles. And then the travel and the little rest that we got in between was definitely something different. Having to lug our bags everywhere we went, all that was just, yeah, it was very, it's just a very unique event. So that took its toll on my back a little bit, I think, just the travel on the
Yeah.
plane, and I can tell you a little bit more about the plane.
So so all the runners are all in one plane or a couple planes all going together, right?
Yeah, correct. This event is it takes 60 people. I'd heard about this event and I reached out to the organizer. I had a house in Monterey I was waiting to sell. Didn't have It was kind of cash poor. That's why I sold my house. And my realtor, she's actually a prior Olympian. I mentioned it to her. I was like, "Oh, this thing sounds really cool. It's this much money." And she's like, "Ben, you don't just focus on selling your house first. This is like
Yeah.
a little lavish." And but she was interested in it. And then the organizer contacted me again. He's like, "Hey, I have 4 spots left," and I kind of ignored it. And I had sold my house at that point. Very interested still, but I was like, "Yeah, this is kind of a pipe dream. I don't know if it's something that I can afford." And then he contacted me again when there was 1 spot left, and he gave me quite a decent discount. He said, "If you call me, or I'll give you a call. We can talk." And I just want to fill this spot because he had 2 people drop out. So I was like, "Why not? You only live once," and I feel very fortunate I was even be able to do this physically and financially. And yeah, the time was right, and I'd already had this 100K race 3 weeks before, so I thought that was going to be a great build up for this, which it
Now,
was.
how do you after what you did? I mean, how does your body feel? Is aches and pains? I mean, what do you think? Or
Nothing long. Is Now you mentioned that before the 100K, I had about 3 or 4 nagging pains. I had, it was a back, it was an ankle, it was a what was my other injury? I'm trying to remember now. This has been. I had 3 things that were really troubling me, and I went into this 100K very patiently and just paced myself. I thought if I have to take an extra 3 hours to finish this, so be it. And none of it bothered me during the 100K, so I was just very grateful at that point that I recovered from that. The only like 2 days into this event, I think that was my second marathon on day 2 after running Cape Town. My knees were really hurting me, and I was like, "Oh boy, this is going to be tough." And I didn't. A lot of people had massage, therapists that were working on them, and they had these like Nordic boots, or like these boots that just like, they you pump them full of air, and they increase circulation in your legs, and they're pretty
yeah,
amazing. I didn't have any of those. A lot of people would get on the plane and put those on, but my pains went away. They were short sustained, and they dissipated pretty quickly. So yeah, other than leg fatigue and my sore back, I was pretty. I was felt fortunate. I felt pretty good.
I'm thinking just the jet lag alone is gonna fucking drive you
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah. But you're just resting when you're like you don't even have time to experience jet lag. It's whenever you're tired because you're going to another time zone within a day. So it just all changes so quickly. So it's just like sleep when you can. Most people, are itching to get off the plane. They're like, "Oh, we have a 12-hour plane ride. That's a nightmare." But we really welcomed it because it gave
You're
us time
welcome.
to
Uh,
sleep. Yeah.
was there any point during the 7 days that you said to yourself, I think I got myself into too much? I don't, or was it
Yeah, day one.
fine the whole time?
I always thought it was within my grasp, depending on
Okay.
again how the miles took the toll on me and how I treated it, and if I was treating it with a little bit of humility and patience and not over exceeding my limits. But I knew that it was definitely something I could do, and maybe I was more conditioned than many people. Although there was a very high caliber of runner at this event, and then I was probably in the top. As far as experience and pacing, I was probably in the top quarter, 25% of those runners, but I was nowhere near the front runners. And then, I was also nowhere near the people that finished last. They,
You had
they
a pretty
typically,
good time from when I was checking though.
yeah, I averaged like a 4:02, 4 hour and 2 minute marathon. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty happy with that. I thought between 4 and 5 hours would be suitable. I wanted to, initially I was like, oh, maybe I could break 4 hours on all of them. And then I thought, no, this is a lot.
Yeah.
Some of these are very close together, and you just have to treat it with respect.
Treat her with respect. Yeah. Let's do like a little geography history. Let's name the 7 continents. What do we got? North America, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe,
Hmm.
Australia, and Antarctica. Am I correct?
You got them all. Yeah. Yeah, I
Yep.
didn't miss a beat.
I've been working on it for when I
you know,
contacted you. I said I got to know these 7 continents. So,
yeah.
Ben, so when you started, what was your first race? Where was that?
The first one was in Antarctica. So we met in Cape Town a few days before, and I got together with some of the elite athletes. One was a Olympic runner and alpine skier from Lebanon, and then this lady Ashley Paulson, who's phenomenal. She's won Badwater, which is the 130-mile run through Death Valley, and she's almost broken the whole course record over the men and women. She's 10 minutes shy of that. So I got together with them and got to meet some of the people, some amazing people, and then yeah, we ended up going to Antarctica a day early because of the window of opportunity that opened for the weather. Because if we had not, I don't even know if we would have been able to get it in. We were planning on going. Actually, I think you mentioned the 15th. It ended up being the 14th.
Yeah.
Um, at the briefing, we were told we're actually gotta get all our stuff together and be down at the hotel at 6 in the morning the next day. So we'd all just done a shakeout run and put some miles under our feet. But yeah, we all we were this whole thing was going to be open to nothing was going to be certain. So there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, and that was the first thing that we learned in the briefing is we had to get started the next day, and we actually entered Antarctica on a beautiful day. The clouds can't be below 8,000 feet for them to land. So there's this window of weather that opened up. We got there, and I was warm. I was pretty toasty after running one lap of the course, which was
Yeah.
about 6.5 miles. So that was a very surreal experience. I loved Antarctica.
Wow, that
Just
sounds
being
amazing.
able to go there. Yeah, it was like, I don't know if it's comparable to being on the moon. I've never been on the moon, but yeah, you're landing on the glacier, and they groom the course, and it's probably the size of a road. But if you go off either side, you could slip and fall, and it could be very dangerous. But we just ran 4 loops. There's some areas where it was like almost like hard packed snow, so it would be difficult to find your footing, but I actually felt pretty good. I ran a 3:53 on that day, and yeah, it was and then the accommodations down there are amazing. Like they have these little dome kind of huts where they have some are like set up like lounges where they have hot coffee and things for you, and others
Oh,
are
perfect. Yeah, that's great. Great.
yeah. The food is fantastic. They had a couple of massage therapists that gave us a quick massage, and it was pretty nice. They're just getting ready for their tourist season, and they have a pretty high clientele that comes in
Wow,
this time of year.
that's amazing. Then from there you went where after that?
After that, we went back to Cape Town and ran the second one in Cape Town. So we
Oh,
still had our hotel rooms, and I mean, I went back to my hotel about 2 o'clock in the morning, and the guy almost didn't let me in. He's like, the guy handling the door, he didn't know who I was, but it's
who
like, I
is
just
the
want to get into bed for a couple hours, please let me in.
yeah, I
And
thought it was a marathon. The guy goes, yeah, sure. That's what they
yeah,
all say.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
right,
like,
marathon.
yeah, I love Cape Town. Cape Town was amazing, by the way.
Hey
We got to
Frank,
see.
this guy down here says he's gonna run a marathon. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, tell
anyway,
me another story, right? Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because you're making little use of the night. I mean, I was gone a whole day, like a day and night, basically from that hotel. So my room was just empty. Waste of a good room. But yeah, we ran the second one there in Cape Town. I got to spend a little more time there, and like I say, I loved it. There was some really great places to eat, and went and saw the penguins before we left and everything,
Yeah,
and down
yeah,
at Breakers Beach. But yeah, that was marathon number two, and I ran it on the exact same minute I ran number one, which is 3 hours and 53 minutes.
perfect. Yeah.
And that was a busy trail along the water, very pretty course. I had and we don't have any pictures here, but I wore a funny like Rasta hat with a big like bobbly nose and some like this little dreadlocks for my Antarctica marathon, and then I wore a giraffe a giraffe hat with these long kind of ears for my South Africa marathon in Cape Town.
What would you
People,
say was the most beautiful of the seven marathons? That was just everything, the people, the scenario, just everything about it. What
ooh,
was the most
that's
fun?
a good one. I would probably say Perth. As great as Antarctica was,
Yeah,
the hospitality and the accommodating support that we had in Perth, Australia was just at another level. I mean, after, on the course, the supporters, the people encouraging us, and just so uplifting. The course was along the Swan River. It was at sunset. It was a beautiful day. The weather was decent. And after we finished, it was the marathon club. There was a bunch of runners that host this place. There was a 21-year-old birthday party going on next door because we hear all the music playing. But we were able to use the showers in this facility. They brought pizza, and they even got a lot of. I'm vegan, so they brought a
yeah,
lot of vegan pizzas as well. And they had some beers if we wanted beers. They had soft drinks, you name it. They were just very hospitable, and
yeah. I've
so
heard
that
that.
just really, yeah, that really set well with us, and
What
it was just nice to see.
On that note, what was the most one that you you probably liked all of them. Or one that was like a little tougher and a little
Yeah, it was a love hate relationship with all of them, probably. Depending on how you're feeling.
right.
Turkey, I think most people did not like the Turkey, the European one. We landed after kind of a long flight. It was late at night. It started to rain. We didn't start until we were all in this little tent, kind of trying to stay warm. It was probably in the low 50s, and there was a bunch of fishermen out, so there most of these were all along the water, and they were all like casting fishing lines, and we're all like ready to running by these guys. So what they did is they taped off the fishermen uh, with this yellow tape, and I think the fishermen ended up leaving around 10:30 because it started to rain, and we're just cold, and we're starting late. We didn't feel well rested, and the pathway had been. I think they're actually going to rethink this and not have this course at all next year. But the pathway looked like it had been hit with a sledgehammer. Like it was just all uneven, and there was these little cement rises, concrete
Yeah.
rises, and it was a weird course, and we had to do it like 20 times back and forth in the dark, and we had headlights, but it was kind of a miserable one. And then we finished it, like I think we got back to went to a hotel that day because that night we had a hotel room because the next morning we were going to run one on the Asian side of Istanbul. So both those marathons were in the same proximity or close proximity to each other. And that one was fantastic. Actually, that was my best marathon. It was a really pretty course. I ran a 3:49 on that one, but
Oh wow, good time.
yeah, yeah, those two were almost polar opposite races, yet they were so close to each other.
And now the final race was that in Australia or
Miami was the final one.
here
So
in the States?
we went from Antarctica to Cape Town to Perth,
Yeah.
Australia. Then we flew to Turkey we had to refuel in Madrid. So we did like a wide berth around Gaza Strip. We went underneath, I think, south of Gaza, obviously for obvious reasons, not to fly over it. And we landed in Madrid to refuel. We're all just still laying down we had these reclining seats on the plane. It was the plane that the Rolling Stones used for their tour. So that was our home, and it was wonderful. It was a nice plane, and we got fed very well on that plane too. And we landed in Istanbul late at night, later than planned, I think. and started the marathon. I think around 9:30 or 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. So then we went from the European side. We had to flip those. So it was supposed to be Asian side first and the European next, but because of the timing, we ended up doing the European side first. Then went to the Asian side, and that was number 5. And then we went to Cartagena, Colombia, which was the most. I mean, for the weather, that was probably the one I liked the least for actually for the weather. I'll take the cold over the hot because the heat
Yeah.
index in Cartagena, Colombia was about 98.
Oh God, yeah.
Very humid, very very hot. Just oppressive heat. Felt like there's a bag over your head and you're in a sauna running. It's just
Yeah.
it took a while to get used to that, and I just kept cooling down, cooling down. And I actually felt better later in the race, but it was a tough one. It was my slowest by far.
Then you finished off at
Yeah.
Miami. Now, what kind of a feeling was that when you're like, what's a marathon? 26 point what miles? Is it? What's a marathon? The length is it 26 miles, right?
How long is the marathon?
Yeah.
26.2 miles. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
when
most of
you
these courses were actually long. We
yeah,
all calibrated them on our watches. They're like, this is a little long. The last one in Miami was certified by an Olympic official. I think he measured it and certified it, and it was spot on.
so you're in
And that
Miami.
was very well attended. Families
Oh yeah, what
support.
a great.
What's that?
I said, so you're in Miami. You're final. You've got about 100 yards left. What kind of a feeling do you got? Is it like I love it? I mean, or you were just like, let's get this thing over with? I mean, how was it?
Kind of both. Yeah. I mean, we're there. We knew we are going to get through it. Legs are tired. I jumped right in the ocean after I finished. I felt good at the end of that, and maybe just because
I think the
I was,
adrenaline,
highly anticipating the finish line. But
beautiful.
exactly, yeah, and the people. There's a lady that did the marathons in her fire gear. Everyone, she pretty much walked most of them.
Yeah,
I mean, there were some amazing people. There were 2 men with one lung that did this. A guy with terminal brain cancer. Again, a lot of them walked. If they did the marathon, they walked it.
yeah,
The lady wearing fire gear, and she's from England, and she had the fire crew from Miami come down, and they came down and supported her. They were hurting because it was hot, and they were all walking in their full fire gear. And she kind of had a modified version, but she got through every marathon. Her name was Bex. Um, just some amazing people, and you had people that had never even run a marathon before that did these things.
can't stop thinking about
Again, very slowly. They probably took
it.
3 or 4 hours longer than I did, but pretty phenomenal.
Now, what's in the future for Ben? I mean, it's just do a,
Okay.
I just said just, but I mean, do marathons throughout the year, and then you're not going to do this again, are you? The 7 day.
I lost you for part of that. I think you
Are
asked me if I'm going to do this
you
again.
going
I
to?
think you were breaking up there.
What's in the
Is that what
future?
you asked me?
Yeah, what's in the future? Would you do it again, or are you going to?
Again, I think you asked me if I'm going to do it again. It's a little broken up, but no, this is a one and done for me. I would do it again if someone sponsored me and paid my way, but
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
don't intend to do this again. I met some wonderful people along the way that I would like to do adventures with, and could be climbing Everest. It could be doing something else. It's a little crazy and out there, but yeah, this is a one and done for sure.
Beautiful. Really great. And now, Ben, you did it for uh, a fundraiser for Al and Friends. How did you gravitate to Al and Friends? What got you?
Correct. I've known about Alan Friends for a while. I've often supported Dorothy's Place in Salinas, and I've done
Great.
fundraisers for them over the years. And I didn't do one this year for them. We often I have a friend who has a whale watching boat. We go out in the boat and we do a cruise, and we get music, and we usually raise about $10,000 for them. I hadn't done it this year, and I thought Al and Friends is more local. I knew Glenn Reese is the treasurer.
Yeah.
He works there, and I met some other people from the committee that were just so enthusiastic and so supportive of me doing this when I mentioned it, and they just reinvigorated my spirit for doing this event. I mean, it was just extra wind in my sails So yeah, I've gone down there and helped a few times, and donated some things. And I mean, you can't get more local. It's such a good community, feel good,
Al,
uh,
it's
or a Sunday event that happens. Yeah, every Sunday. So
Al
the fundraiser
started,
is still open.
Al started in a dream to feed the hungry,
In, two,
and
hmm
he
in
created
2010, was that?
13 years ago, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
13.
Okay.
And just him and a
Yeah.
Honda Civic with like 7, 8
Yeah.
sandwiches or something. And look what the guy created. You've got
Nice.
volunteers anywhere from a 14-year-old to a 90-year-old volunteers. He's got everybody in the
Right.
community. He's got people in line waiting to volunteer. It's a great,
Yeah.
great organization, and I love it. And Al
Yeah.
and
Well, Sarah's children are even younger than that. They help out too.
oh yeah,
Right.
it's just
Um,
a really
yeah.
good thing. And
It
any
is.
listeners out there, if you want to go volunteer to help Al and friends, it's over there at the windows on the bay next to the volleyball courts by Wharf 2. You want to donate monies, you can. You want to donate clothes. So, help out in the community. And it's a great feeling to help out in the community. Then I got a couple of photos I'm going to show
Awesome.
here. We got Al and friends here. Look at that. You got volunteers. There they are. I mean, it's just phenomenal to
Yeah,
go down
it
there.
really is. It's just a feel good
It feels
event
good.
all around. I mean, and it's all about inclusivity, and that, as well as a warm meal. They're giving a sense of belonging to everybody. And
Yeah,
I've got, actually, in my car right now, I have 2 boxes of brand new shoes I'm going to take down that were donated to me
yeah.
through the marathon, Big Sur Marathon, to donate to them. So I'm going to drop those down. But yeah, it's when there's so much divisiveness in the world, this is something where we come together and actually make
We
a
come
difference to
together. Yeah, it's
help anyone who wants a meal,
Al
basically.
said because I mentioned it. Like I said, feeding the hungry, and Al says, "I'm glad you said that." He said, "I don't want you to
Yeah,
say homeless or whatever. Feeding the hungry." So Clint
right.
Eastwood could be
Yes,
walking down
exactly.
there. Clint Eastwood wants a hand.
Yeah, exactly. And I wouldn't be surprised because the meals are damn
They are,
good.
yeah. And
Yeah,
there's
they really are.
a couple volunteers there.
There's Tom.
Tom, yeah, he's a good man. There's the
Tom is the one who
president.
pushed this out to the press.
There's a president, and then
Rick,
there's Ann Reese, the treasurer. Yeah,
right. Yeah, Glenn. I've known Glenn a long time. He's a fellow runner, a great
yeah,
marathoner himself.
he's a yeah.
Yeah,
You do the Big Sur, don't you, every year? Or do you?
I do. I work on the committee, the events committee. I direct the relay, and I also run the course. Um, oh, there's
There's
me at the. That's after the Istanbul one. That was a cold, wet one, but I'm still smiling. You gotta smile, right?
yeah,
Smile or you're doing it wrong, they say. Yeah, it's the start line. That was Miami. These guys, the couple of strong runners at the front. A lot of these people have big followings. There's a Peloton instructor named Bex Gentry, an iFit instructor. This guy in the middle, he's a helicopter pilot, entrepreneur, and he
beautiful.
went and spent 7 days in a cave after all this. 7 days of darkness. He's a pretty interesting
Wow,
guy.
7 days of yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
crazy, huh?
After 7
Good time.
marathons in 7 days, perfect.
Yep.
And talk about Al and friends. They were so thrilled that you were going to do this, and when you came back, they welcomed you, and here they are.
Yeah, that was such a nice surprise. That was
They
wonderful.
welcomed you
Yeah,
up
I'm glad
there.
you have this picture. That's great.
It was really
I
great.
showed this at a presentation last night. Yeah, yeah. I love that sign that Justin made too. Yeah,
It was.
I was tired when I got off the plane. I wasn't expecting all that, but they definitely woke me up. It was
You're
really cool.
expecting maybe one guy to say congratulations. You didn't.
Yeah, exactly.
You had a group right there.
One would have done all right. One would have been fine.
Now there you
That's after
are.
number 5. That was my best. That was in Turkey also. That was the Asian side of Turkey. A lot of well-fed cats. And there's the finish line. That's Miami. That was
Oh,
I
that's
jumped
when
in
you
the ocean
jumped into
after.
the water.
Um,
You jumped in the water after
Correct.
the.
Yeah, after I shed my medals. I took my medals off because they probably would have made me sink. But
No,
yeah,
you
I
were
swam a little
saying,
bit.
yeah. And I want
A
to
lot of
show
medals that they gave you.
you and Al Seaford, the founder of Al and Friends. That's Al himself.
Oh, good.
What a great man. And here it is. You and Al, what a photo that is. I remember when I first met him, I said, this is a great organization. I said, I've got probably like, 30, 40 cans of, beans or whatever. And he goes, Johnny, everything we make is from scratch. We don't use one can, he told me. From scratch. So, and because he's a retired chef and he knows his stuff. So, like you were saying, those meals are really
Yeah, I
good.
don't know a lot about his history.
Yeah.
Right. Actually, I'm about to have canned beans. Nothing wrong with canned beans, but I'm gonna have some for lunch. But no, he does. They make some
I don't want to
amazing
open any
dishes.
cans. Yeah. Okay, that sounds great.
Really, yeah.
So
All good sustainable stuff.
it was really great. Yeah, and for Thanksgiving Day, even though they do it on Sunday, on Thanksgiving Day, because it was Thanksgiving, they did an extra day, and they were there and they handed out I think it was ham sandwiches, just for so they go the extra mile. And
will the same thing happen on Christmas? Do you know? Do they do one on Christmas Day as well? I'm not entirely sure.
they might do something. Well, they'll do their Sunday normally, and they'll probably do. I'm just thinking, right around close to Christmas, either Eve or something. They might do sandwiches or something, just to get that extra meal going. But anyway, so Ben, I really appreciate what you did here for the community. We really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you coming on and buzzing with Cousin. So
well, thank you, Johnny. It takes a village, right? This is just one form of community, and we entered various communities as we traveled around the world, and when community comes together, we can do great things. And like I said, it takes a village. The team makes the dream, they say.
And on my Buzzing with Cousin Facebook page, if you ever have anything you want to, say, or if you have an event or you want to share it, feel free to go on my page and share it.
I will. Thank you.
So I appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you down at Al and Friends every night to go down.
Yeah.
Check out the guys. So thank you.
I'll probably see you Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
And we'll see you soon. Ben Balester, thank you for coming on. 7 marathons, 7 days, 7 continents. We love it. That was so good, and it was for a great cause. I just want to close out with, like Ben was saying, we're all in this community. Just, if you have the time, every now and then, volunteer for something. It doesn't have to be every week, but every now and then, even once a year, donate some clothes. If you have some money and you want to part with a little of it, do it, but you don't have to. Just try to give back a little bit to the community, because we're all in this together. So Cousin Johnny is going to be out here, and thanks for everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you soon.